And you're listening to the 123. And it's been a minute since we've been back. We did a one show, and I broadcast that onto the Frank Perkins channel. Right now, we're on the Gaming Fix channel. So if you're checking out Gaming Fix and you see the 123, that's going to be the way we're going to do it for a little bit of time. I'm trying to get a 123 channel. However, that might take a minute. Anyway, if you have heard of the 123 through our podcast, then you remember that me and my partner Julio were doing it for a while, and then I did it myself. Had two different shows, one that was more based on WWE, and the other one was more set on independent. And I just want to kind of cover all of wrestling in a video format, and I think that this is a good way to do it. I just got my ring light, so my face is a little bit more bright. I don't know. I'll mess with it. I have this little control for that purpose, so I can kind of play around and see. I guess that's as bright as it gets, but I can dim it, I guess. Yeah. Dim it, make it a little bit more dark, whatever. I don't know what this does. Hold on to this. Maybe it adds a little more yellow or something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, and that's like kind of weird. I don't know. But hey, just if you ever thought that you'd want to do like a podcast just like this, or well, mainly in audio, then we can help you out at with all of our different things that we do. And the way that we do that is you just go on to podbean.com/wildfirefp, and then you can get a free trial of Podbean, and then every one of those helps us out a little bit. And we would really appreciate it. If you've been thinking about doing a podcast, that's a really good way to do it. And we can even help you out being a pro. That's podbean.com/wildfirefp pro. And not going to hit you to too many advertisements like that, but just a couple. Still trying to figure out this ring light. I don't know. I'll have to look at the manual. It looks like it's giving off a pretty decent amount of light. It's weird. I've got it hooked with a thumbtack because the kit that I got comes with a tripod. Not going to talk about the ring light too much. Definitely here to talk about wrestling, and this is going to be our new time, and it is set at 4 o'clock Pacific, and that is done on purpose so that we are in the West, or if you're in the East Coast, then we are on 1 hour before Raw. And probably talk about Raw last because, well, I think most people kind of want to not talk about it or deal with it. I don't think I'm wrong on that. I'm going to step away for a second, and I'm going to get a drink because not an alcohol. I drink a lot of Code Red, but it's just over here, away from frame. And I don't think I can get it because I don't think my headphones are extended enough. But I'm going to talk while I go get my drink so that way, I'm not gone. But yeah, I'm going to keep talking. I just can't hear the output, but my mic is pretty strong. I think I'll be a little bit off mic, but not a super amount of it. And oh man, that was almost not worth going over for. Okay, well, it's what it is, right? As people that know that follow any of the Wildfire programs, I have some issues with kidney failure, and so I can only drink so much drink a day, so I'm kind of don't like to have it just go to waste. All right, so we're going to start with what we always talk about, and today we're going to talk about Ray Washington Traylor Jr. He was born May 2nd, 1963. and he passed away September 22nd, 2004. He was an American professional wrestler who's best known for his appearances with the World Wrestling Federation under the ring name Big Boss Man, as well as his appearances with World Championship Wrestling as the Boss, the Man, the Guardian Angel, and Big Bubba Rogers. During his appearances with the WWF, Big Boss Man held the WWF World Tag Team Championship once and the WWF Hardcore Championship 4 times. On March 7, 2016, Traylor was confirmed to be included into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016, and he was inducted in the Hall of Fame 2016 by Slick. And the award was accepted by his wife Angela and his daughters Lacey and Megan. A former corrections officer in Colby County, Georgia, Traylor debuted in 1985. He first made some appearances at Continental Championship Wrestling, where he first challenged Roberto Soto for the NWA Alabama Heavyweight Championship on February 3rd, 1986, and then challenged Norville Austin for the NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Championship on February 10. He then began working as a jobber for Jim Crockett Promotions under his real name. During that time, he faced the likes of Tully Blanchard, the Barbarian, Ivan Koloff, the Midnight Express, the Road Warriors, and Wahoo McDaniel. Seeing his potential, head booker Dusty Rhodes pulled Traylor from TV for 12 weeks in order to repackage him as Big Bubba Rogers, with Traylor debuting as Rogers on the May 31st edition of Worldwide as Big Bubba. Traylor was a silent bodyguard for Jim Cornette, who, along with the Midnight Express, was feuding with the James Boys, Dusty Rhodes, and Magnum TA under masks. He got a solid push as seemingly unstoppable heel and feuded with Rhodes, the top face at the time. In a series of bunkhouse stampede matches in 1986, he and Rhodes were tied for wins in this series, leading to a tie-breaking cage match, which Rhodes won on February 27th. Traylor also defeated Ron Garvin in Louisville Street Fight at Starrcade in 1986. In 1987, Traylor joined the Universal Wrestling Federation. After it was purchased by Jim Crockett, he debuted in April 18th, winning a handicap match against Mike Reed and the Glass Man. On April 19th, Traylor challenged and won the UWF Heavyweight Championship from One Man Gang, who was leaving the UWF for the World Wrestling Federation following his title win. He aligned himself with General Skandar Akbar and his Devastation Inc. stable. Traylor would hold the championship for nearly 3 months, defending it against Steve Cox, Barry Windham, and Michael Hayes, before losing the title to Dr. Death Steve Williams on July 11, 1987 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, during the Great American Bash 1987 tour. In the second War Games match on July 30th, 1987, the Road Warriors Nikita Koloff, Dusty Rhodes, and Paul Ellering defeated the Four Horsemen and Traylor as the War Machine. At 1938, when Road Warrior, I don't know if that's a date, that's weird. When Road Warrior Animal forced the War Machine to submit by gouging his eyes with a spiked armband. After losing the heavyweight championship, Traylor began pursuing the UWF Tag Team Championship, which were held by the Lightning Express as he teamed the Angel of Death, the Terminator, and Black Bart. There were a lot of Expresses back then. The Midnight Express, the Lightning Express, the Rock and Roll Express. Let's see. I know there's another Express. I just can't think of it right now. From late August to early September, Traylor received several rematches against Williams for the UWF Championship, but came up short. He was in All Japan after leaving Crockett. Traylor toured for All Japan during the 1988 Championship Carnival Tour. He debuted on March 26, 1988, teaming with Bruiser Brody against Jumbo Saruta, and John Tenta, which went to a double countout. Throughout the tour, Trailer would mostly team with Brody as well as Jimmy Snuka while taking on stars like Saruta, Kenichiro, Tenuria, Yusaka Yutsi, Giant Baba, Ashura Ahara, as well as future stars like Tiger Mask and Akira Tura. His last match was the conclusion of the tour in April 22nd, losing to Saruta. World Wrestling Federation, 1988 to 1993, Twin Towers. Let's see. Then there was a face turn. The Big Boss Man turned face on February 21st. Oh, hold on. I think we skipped his debut in WWE some reason. Oh, Two Towers, yeah. In June 1988, Trailer joined the WWF as Big Boss Man, a character inspired by his previous career as a correction officer, wrestling as a heel and managed by Slick. Boss Man's post-match routine often included handcuffing his defeated opponents to the ring ropes. That's where all this handcuffing has started, huh? And beating them with a nightstick or ball and chain. Could you imagine running a character now with our current situation? I'd be really tone deaf, but I don't know. I'm surprised because like when they ran Insurrection, they're not called the Insurrection. What are they called? But remember when they first debuted, I can't think of the name of them now. They're so badly used because there's like some really great wrestlers in there, including Mustafa Ali and John. The gentleman that used to always fight Keith Lee. Slapjack's not that notable, and I'm not sure he really lost anything by it, but I think definitely Crowbar, T-Bar. I think it's called T-Bar. I don't know. I cannot think of the name of them, though. Retribution. That's it, Retribution. Yeah, Retribution is very terrible. And, yeah. But yeah, it would be very tone deaf to have someone like the Big Boss Man. But like, it's weird because they did do the Antifa kind of thing. I think that that's where they were going to go with it, and I think that they realized that wasn't going to work. But so now these guys that they thought were going to be these mega hills, they've kind of got them in this like sub area. Like they're really not much better than the Ninjas, except for that people know who they are. Yeah. Anyway, back to Big Boss Man. The thing with this, I'm working on with these. I like them, or I like being able to do a wrestler of the week. However, I would like to do something a little bit more, a little bit more information and not something where you're just like, oh yeah, cool, I could read a Wikipedia article too. We try to do something a little, cool. After working with the World Wrestling Federation, at WrestleMania 5, the Twin Towers defeated the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, and then for most of the spring and early summer 1989, feuded with Demolition, Axe, and Smash over the Tag Team Championship. Meanwhile, Boss Man concluded his feud with Hogan in a series of steel cage matches. One of the most memorable aired on the May 27th Saturday night's main event 21 with Hogan WWF Championship on the line. During the match, Hogan superplexed Boss Man off the top of the cage. It was really funny. During Saturday night's main event, I remember my mom told me, "Hey, did you know that there's wrestling on Saturday night, like close to Saturday Night Live? You really missed it, and I know you really like that." And I think, if that would have been in '89, like I would have been too young, because there's a certain time, I had a bedtime, like everybody does. And I think in '89, it would have been past my bedtime, because I think it started at 10 or something like that. I have to look that up. But then face turn in various feuds. The Big Boss Man turned face on February 24th, 1990 episode of Superstars, when Ted DiBiase had paid Slick to have Boss Man retrieve the $1 Million Championship belt from Jake Roberts, who had stolen it. Boss Man retrieved the bag containing both the belt and Roberts' pet python Damien on the Brother Love show. He refused to accept DiBiase's money for the bag and returned it to Roberts. As a face, Boss Man adopted a new entrance theme called Hard Times, but was performed by the lead singer of Survivor, Jimmy Jamison. Boss Man then feuded with former partner Akeem, defeating in less than 2 minutes in WrestleMania 6. As part of his face turn, he later stopped handcuffing and beating jobbers after matches. So that makes sense. He made peace with Hogan, appearing in the corner of his match against Earthquake at SummerSlam 1990. Incidentally, I think, and I'll have to look this up, I believe Earthquake is John Tenta. Actually, you know what? I'll just click it, because, why not tell, if I can tell you. Yeah, that was John Tenta, was Earthquake. So that's cool. So that's kind of cool. So he fought with Earthquake, and then later he ended up teaming with Earthquake. Let's see. All right, well, I'm not trying to burn all the time, but so that is Big Bubba Rogers, or the Big Boss Man, and who we know is Trailer. So I'm going to try, like I said, and craft these a little bit better. And, as time goes by, I think we'll have something a little bit more polished. Next, I wanted to talk about things exploding or not exploding. Actually, I wanted to have a little bit of a chat. I have, so when I first started this whole thing, we were basically doing results shows and predictions, a little bit of predictions, but mainly results shows for WWE. That was what we were doing, and I decided to bring in the idea of the wrestler of the week, and started that out. Our first one was with Gorgeous George, and George. I want to say George Gagne, but I may be wrong. I have to look that up. But anyway, basically talked about Gorgeous George. And instead of from a Wikipedia article, it's from a book. And we tried to go that way. And with my partner, I would kind of try and work on that. And then when he stepped away, I decided that it was time to have a WWE show and a show that was more about independence, because I wanted to have both of those things be available. And now that COVID has happened and I have the ability to have a web show, I decided that I would, just cover things as I wanted to cover them. Especially since I'm doing a weekly, and it's going to be about an hour. It's going to be on Mondays, and it's going to be at 4:00. So if you tune in on Wednesdays at 4:00 on this channel here on YouTube, then you will see me, and it will be really cool. But I just got the ring light in the mail, so I was actually putting it together, so it took a minute. Anyway, back to what I was discussing. Sorry, I get a little bit on tangents. That's the ADD, I think. Anyway, so specifically, when we started doing that, I decided I wanted to find out a little bit more about older wrestling. And so I kind of started to follow Jim Cornette. And I really do like everything that I've learned about wrestling from both Brian Last and Jim Cornette. And I've been watching it for a while, but and the one thing that is there was criticism to AEW. And I really liked AEW, but at the same time, I wanted to look at it from a perspective of non-bias, where I could say, okay, I could see where they could work on that match, or I could see, and it's come to a point where I'm not sure that Jim Cornette is necessarily trying to help with the product, and I'm not sure that I think he wanted the product to be better, but now I think that he's so distraught about it, or he's just doesn't care. And so I think that his way of seeing it is just is just past that point, fortunately. And I think that sometimes that's not necessarily good. He's not he just hasn't been very positive in a long time. One thing that I really liked when I heard him talk is he was saying how much he liked he was like, the guy in Primetime, I want to say, I need to have a list or something of these names because I am not good with them, and then I can't remember them, and it makes me look really bad. I think Mark Quinn is the one he said was just really stand out, and then he would take him and he would make him into a major star and get him out of Primetime. And I thought that was cool. And I was like, okay, cool. But then there's been some cases where, he calls Rey Fenix Felix, which isn't that big of a deal, but he has no respect for him. And I think Rey Fenix is clearly a really good athlete. I can see some of the things he says about Kenny, like the fact that, or Kenny Omega, where he says that Kenny Omega is not, that he doesn't go all out, or he has a way of doing things, and he's never been to wrestling school, and it shows, and that he's proud of that. And where he's talking about the Young Bucks and how self-trained they are and how they're not all that good. And honestly, when I see the Young Bucks, I really do feel like they're a more Hulk Hogan style wrestler. And to me, that's not good. That's not a worker. That's somebody who's good with the flash, and they do things basically through no selling. And it looks to me like if you look at the FTR situation, I really feel like they buried FTR because they brought FTR in, they made him do the job, and then they haven't used him that well since, until recently the new storyline with MJF. But other than that, I mean, not really. So, I mean, there's good reason to be critical of AEW, Joshi Wrestling, some things that like not taking the dark matches and saying, hey, this happened on Dark, and so this guy's really been standout, and telling those stories and making it clear, and taking basically going from YouTube to TV. They're not very good at that, and they're not very good at branding, honestly. Because, yeah, I think everybody who follows AEW understands that they're trying to create a smorgasbord of wrestling with different styles of wrestling, but they've never openly said that. In fact, the only thing that they've actually said is that they wanted to be more of an athletic event. and they've never really, stayed with that. Whereas they could have just said, yeah, we're going to have some entertainment. We're going to have some New Japan style. We're going to have, we're going to have the hard style of New Japan. We're going to have a more athletic style that, from the days of NWA and the territories. But they've never done that. They've never said that. They've never said we're going to have these different styles, and that we also, our big thing is that we want to let wrestlers make their own decisions. And I really do agree with Jim in that I think Miro has made some bad decisions. I think that the way that he's booked himself is bad. I think that he thought a lot of people were really locked into his podcast. And he thought, okay, well, if I really say that I'm a gamer and this is who I am, then this will be my character, a very authentic version of the podcaster Miro, who's just like a big guy, but I like to do all the Twitch streaming and stuff. But the reality is he's not Xavier Woods. He's not somebody that is known for the fact that he is a gamer. That's just not a thing. So that's something that we need to, or that is there. But I don't know if people have heard it, but like very recently, I was listening to Jim Cornette. Actually, I'll tell you, it's funny. I listened to it while I'm sleeping, and I was sleeping, and I had a dream that I was getting yelled at about how bad of a wrestler I was, and I was like, well, I'm working on it or whatever. And then like JC's like yelling at me, and I didn't know JC's. I think it's my dad or whatever. And I wake up, and of course, Jim Cornette is on a rant about how AEW, sucks. And that's when I heard the line, basically saying, that Kip Sabian is a middle schooler who has a slutty girlfriend, and they're fighting with this dork that can't book himself at all, talking about Miro. And I don't want to increase his bandwidth and his negativity, because that's not what I'm trying to do. So I don't want to say, yeah, Jim Cornette, but I'm just saying, just from a perspective of a fan. And keep in mind, I do a lot in gaming. Gaming Fix has way more episodes than this. And if you want to tune into Gaming Fix, you can always go on to podbean.com. It's Gaming Fix 1, podbean.com, and we have all of the gaming fixes there. And of course, right here, we're slowly putting them on video, so you can check those out as well. But, like I said, I don't want to increase his bandwidth, but I will say that I think between the hate of geeks and nerds and his constant belittling of gamers and just the negativity, I've got to step away. I'm at least only going to watch the drive-through, and I think I'm just going to watch Brian Last's programs, because Brian Last might be like, I don't like the modern product, but he doesn't take that much time on it on his shows, and a lot of it are like Aresi's Super Show or whatever, where it's like the rebroadcast of some of the first wrestling radio shows. I think that's really cool to listen to. I've also been started to listen to some JR. I think that modern wrestling needs to listen, and here's why. And if you disagree, that's fine. You're not going to agree with everything I say, and I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to be super negative about things either. But I'm just going to say that I think that there is a good point as far as one-upmanship, and I'm concerned about the boys. If you start out with a 450 splash as a finisher, which is a really crazy move, And then you have matches where you have 10 450 splashes. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, now we're going to the pay-per-view, so what are we going to do? And here's an answer. What did they do last pay-per-view? They had a an exploding barbed wire death match. And we all know that it didn't explode. But that's a question. How much did we want for the boys to get, they were getting pincushion, bleeding, and then a bomb was supposed to go off. So how much did we want for an explosion to occur? And how much, what do we expect on that? I'm wondering, because it would be a big issue as far as I'm concerned. And I would like to not, see folks, die. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on that. So we'll go over all the shows this week and just what I saw, basically, instead of I want to try something where I'm not, just reading websites and regurgitating, because I really don't like doing that. I'm trying to get more information out there and talk about what really appealed to me, I guess. So we had the pay-per-view. I'll be honest, I did not pay $60 for Revolution. I am currently on dialysis, and the only reason that I have a little bit of extra is because Big Daddy Biden threw me a couple shekels, or I should say the Congress, or or the taxpayer actually paid for it, to be honest. Thank you. But so I'm able to get a couple things, but the idea of paying for a $60 pay-per-view is just not in the cards at the moment. Not even a little bit. So I didn't pay it, but I'm surprised they got 125,000 buys and made several $1 million. I don't know the exact figures; they're not in front of me. And the matches sounded good, but I got to say, watching Crossroads I thought was a better show from what I saw. And I did watch the highlights on YouTube, and I of course will encourage everybody to, don't steal the show, but I don't know what to do. If they were to offer a highlights for say $10, I would buy that. I'm not solvent enough to pay $60. So if they sold a highlights, say with a shirt or something for $30, I might be able to do that too. Something like that. I don't know. Just something where it's just a little bit more doable, because $60, I was saying I could get my HBO Max subscription, my Disney Plus, Prime, Netflix, and buy some things for around the house. That's the reality of it. And that's for a month. And Peacock. So that means I'll be able to see, what is it? Oh, Fastlane. So, I'll be able to see Fastlane. I'll be able to see Godzilla versus Kong, Team Godzilla, by the way. And I'll be able to see basically everything, all the different movies. I'll be able to see 5 or 6 movies coming to America. All those movies. And that to me is a huge difference than just one event. But let's get to it. Okay, so the first event we had was the tag team between the Young Bucks and MJF and Jericho. And I thought that was an okay match. I wasn't super amazed by anything that happened there. Pretty much pretty solid match. No lockup. The Bucks are angry because their dad got smashed across a truck. So that was pretty good. They fought real hard. That was a real good match, like that one. Then we had the ladder match for the for the title shot. That was a pretty good match. I like that one. That seemed like a decent match. Then we had I think I might have it out of order, but like I said, I'm not looking at a site. I'm just going by my mind and what I'd seen. Then we had a match between between Shida and Mio Masudi Rio. It's very much like Rio, but it's Ryo. And I can't think of the last name right now, but Misaki, something like that. I think it was Misaki. Fought really good against Shida, but I kind of wanted to see. I'd like to see a new champion. I feel like Shida's been a champion for a while, and I don't see who their answer is. So I mean, I guess we're really not going to get it for a while, and I understand that. It makes sense. And I'm futzing with this lemon because I want to have some of it. But it's got Code Red in it. That's why. Code Red lemon. Ooh. Wow, I never thought about that. I could put some Code Red and some lemon. Have it sitting in a bag. If I was thirsty, I could drink that, but then it would have caffeine in it. It'd be really good. Gonna think about that. All right, so then we had the winner was Scorpio Sky, which was really good because we knew that he was from Dark, that he was kind of getting more aggressive, and it's my time to shine kind of thing. I think that'll be a really cool. I think that'll be cool. I think that works. I think that means he's breaking off from SCU a little bit, but that's okay. Then I think we had the tag team cluster, Royal Rumble, or Battle Royale, and that was cool. Everybody came out. I like the fact that Max Caster. Oh no, Max Caster was in the other match. I like the fact that he's in it. I think that now they're really kind of giving him a little push. I think he's his own man. He kind of starts out with a rap gimmick. The hand licking I can do without, but at the same time, it does. I was talking to somebody about this, and they were saying that it does create a persona and something that people don't like because they're uncomfortable with it. And I get that, but at the same time, a wrestler has to have his hands licked every time he fights with them, which if I'm a bigger wrestler, I might book him into obscurity. So he might want to change his gimmick just on the fact that people with more say might be like, yeah, I don't want my hand licked. So that guy's getting buried. So he might want to do something else. I don't know. It's on him. All right, so next we had the Battle Royale, and the winner on that made a lot of sense. We had Death Triangle, Penta, and... not Penta. Penta was in the... I keep coming up with people that were in the ladder match. But no, it was Rey Fenix and Pac. However you want to say it. They did really well against I believe Jungle Boy was the last person that they really wrestled and got in, and they are going to be challenging the Young Bucks, and I think that's this week, but I might have to I would check on that. I'm not sure. Then we had the street fight, which I watched a little bit of that, and mind you, that's highlights, so there's some things I probably missed, all the cool things. The cool effects of the different thing, the weird avant-garde kind of thing. So I feel like a street fight should probably not have any art in it. I think it would have made more sense had it just been like, I don't know, like a fight out on the street. You know, it wouldn't have been as cool. It wouldn't have felt like the Boneyard match or that debacable swamp fight that WWE did, but it wasn't to my taste. And so Darby Allin beat Ricky Stark, and so they won their grudge match. I kind of wonder still if Sting can go, because they had him going in the ring. So I would like to see actual fight, but I don't know if we're going to get that. I know that Sting is 62 years old, so it's a little much to ask. Then we had trying to think. We had the death match, maybe. Oh, right. I know why I forgot it, because it's such a forgettable feud. It's the feud between Miro, Chuck Taylor, and Kip Sabian, and Penelope Ford, and Orange Cassidy. I want that feud to die. I think it doesn't really work. It doesn't make sense. I want Miro to be in the title picture. I want him to go against some big beefy boys like Powerhouse Hobbs or Brian Cage or not Show, but Paul White would be interesting too. But I know that that's probably not going to happen. Or Lance Archer, that'd be a good one too. I'd like to see that, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's kind of disappointing. Next we had, so after that, which Miro went over? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Miro went over for nothing. We didn't get anything on that one. And then we got the exploding barbed wire death match, which everybody got all cut up, and John Moxley was laid out because thanks to the Good Brothers and some cheating. And then Kingsley came to save Moxley from an explosion that never happened, but he sold it anyway. And so then next we had the show after that, and basically we had Kenny going and defending, not Kenny, but Moxley talking about it, and then Kenny doing a thing about 69ing and all kinds of things. And that episode was kind of silly. It wasn't a great Dynamite after, I don't think, except for, I think the only thing that really saved it was the Swerve thing in the War Council. I mean, I think that really made it a good show, but I couldn't, although I will say, so like it or don't like it, the Joshi wrestling with Ito, when Ito came in and was singing just for the entire entrance as tons of fighting was starting to occur, I was rolling. That was hilarious. All right, well, we don't have much time, so I'm going to go over Raw tonight. I'm going to talk about what happened last Raw and what I think will happen this Raw. I think we're going to get some of the same exact matches because rinse repeat seems a lot going on Raw. I think we'll get I think when you tune in, you're going to get probably McIntyre and I think you're getting McIntyre versus Sheamus. Probably, I'm guessing as a tag team or something like that. I don't think we'll get like a 3-way or anything like that. That would be good as a main event if we got something like Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. I could see that at Fastlane. Maybe that'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting way to protect them, because then if Drew went over Sheamus, then Bobby wouldn't really lose the belt. He'd just lose it by a DQ, and Bobby'd be wrong, so he'd be going into WrestleMania against Drew as a jilted champion type thing. So that would be interesting. But as far as Raw, it's been pretty bad, and I don't know what they're going to do tonight. I can't think of any. I will say that watching AJ Styles versus Randy Orton was pretty good, except for, and then they keep doing the Randy Orton bit with Alexa Bliss poisoning him, making him spit black ichor, making him lose matches because he sees weird things on the screen, and we're actually seeing them. So it's like, is it happening? Like, because it was always an issue of, is it happening in your mind or not? But like now it seems to be constantly in your face. 3 hours is too long for Raw. I think we all agree on that. And I'm trying to think like how I could book it so that Raw would be better. Taking out that hour would be really good. I'm sure that we're going to get Braun Strowman with Shane, and I really hope they don't do that thing where they just drag out like what's Shane thinking? Tune in. Maybe Shane's thinking something, and then like he just makes dumb jokes, and then gets some car that Braun chases after, but Sheamus is still there, or whatever. And it's I don't really know what they're going to go for here. I don't know who they're going to. I'm like trying to think how it could be done well. What could we get that would be great? I would love to see a Rhea Ripley. I'd love to see Rhea Ripley appear. That would be great. I don't know if we'll get that, but if we did, that would be really awesome. But gosh, Raw's just been so poor. I mean, I can't even really put it into words. It's just been so bad. We've gotten the New Day versus the New Day may even be on SmackDown. I'm trying to remember. I don't know who is on. Yeah, I think the New Day is on SmackDown, so I guess we won't get the New Day. Actually, no, I think the New Day are on Raw, so we might get them versus Maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll do Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business, like a 3-way versus. I don't know. It'd be weird. The Hurt Business and Sheamus versus the New Day and Drew McIntyre. That'd be weird. They could do that, but I don't know how that would. That'd be a really super match. That'd be a pretty good main event. Maybe they'll do AJ Styles versus. If they did AJ Styles versus Drew Gulak, that'd be really cool. But Drew Gulak has been really mid-carded lately in the 24/7 thing. You got maybe we could get a really good match between not Angel. Between Damian Priest and I don't know. We've seen it between Elias. That was terrible. And then the women's tag team, the women's matches are all over the place. Sometimes we get Charlotte Flair. I don't know who Charlotte Flair could go against. I know Becky Lynch just recently said it's time to go back to work, so maybe we'll get Becky Lynch. If we got Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch tonight, that would be amazing. That would just, uptick the stock on Raw. And it's funny because, like, right now, I'm actually 9 minutes into Raw. Like, I'm going to be 9 minutes into Raw, so I don't know what's going on. I'm in the and I complain about this a lot. I'm in the Pacific Coast, so I don't get, so a lot of wrestling happens, and people just post about it from the East Coast, not thinking about the fact that the West Coast doesn't get it until very late at night. Like, we get it at 8, so it's 8 o'clock for you. But for us, it's like we're basically getting it at 11 o'clock at night, for what time it would be for you. Actually, no, I'm sorry. 8 to 8, 3. Yeah, 11. I'm right. So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to get. And, I could guess at some of the bad stuff. I'm glad that Reginald is not on Raw, and I hope they don't decide that he should be someone that they should bring over, because I really don't want to see Reginald shopping or any intimate moments with him and Nia Jax. That was not pleasant at all. So I don't know what to say about Raw. It's rough. I don't know. I don't know. While I'm thinking about it, though, if you can, go over to tpublic.com/gamingfix, FIXX, and there you can find, not right now, but pretty soon you'll be able to find some wrestling t-shirts. I'll probably do some curating of that right after the show. And also you'll be able to find some 123 merch fairly soon. We've got our promotions working on that, and pretty soon you'll be able to get a 123 shirt. And instead of this couch that you see before me or behind me, we'll probably have a ring and a picture of our logo and all that. So we're working on that. It's been pretty cool. I don't really have anything more. I don't really want to extend the episode. I really hate doing that. So I think I'm just going to close it instead of just blah, blah, blah. And thanks for tuning in. It's been a great show. Enjoy Raw and enjoy wrestling. And always remember, there's a lot of tribalism, but just enjoy what you enjoy. Enjoy wrestling. Obviously, watch all the independents. They need your help. It's always good to check that out. We've been following Game Changer Wrestling pretty regularly, and we'll probably have some of their shows here and there. Oh, here's one just to discuss is the Rebellion. Looks like it's going to be a pretty cool match with Rich Swann and Kenny Omega. That'll be pretty good to get. I don't know how much Impact charges for their wrestling. I'll have to find that out and let you know. Anyway, thanks for watching the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. That's how we used to end. Bye, everybody.